Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Lisa from PassiveShirtProfits.com. If you've been itching to jump into the print-on-demand world and earn royalties from your creative designs, this video is for you. And if you don't know what print-on-demand is, it's simply the process of creating and uploading an image to a print-on-demand site. You add it to a product of your choice, and when it's sold, you earn a royalty. And the company you upload the product to manages all the shipping and printing. I'm going to shed some light on how to choose the best places to upload your designs to, the difference between pixel versus vector software, in layman's terms, I might add, and some overall tips for uploading your designs. Are you ready? All right, let's get started. If you're brand new to print on demand, you're probably overwhelmed. With so many places to upload to, how do you even know where to begin? My advice, if you're just starting out, is to focus on one or two of the popular print-on-demand websites and pay attention to the kinds of designs that are highlighted on the homepage. Notice the categories that are featured and types of designs they tend to highlight. No, I don't mean copy other people's ideas. I just mean it can help you get a better understanding of their typical customer based on the designs and categories that are featured. Of course, that doesn't always mean that these are the only designs that will sell there, but it will give you an idea and a starting point. For example, if you're an artist and love creating abstract, artsy designs, Redbubble is the place to be. The main focus of this site is to feature art from, and I quote, independent artists everywhere. It even says it on their website. With just a quick look through the site, as you can see, Redbubble is unique from a lot of its competitors because of the creativity and artistic designs. So if you know this is not the type of art you tend to create, move along. For example, I find that Spreadshirt is great for younger, edgier, party people, and pop culture designs. Once again, don't forget to check the homepage to see what categories they are featuring. That will give you an idea where to start. Now, let's talk about some software. If the difference between Raster and Vector or Photoshop versus Illustrator confuses the daylights out of you, have no fear, Lisa's here to the rescue. It's really simple, you guys. Raster programs like Photoshop, Pixlr, GIMP, PicMonkey, etc. use pixels. These are tiny little squares that make up the design. And when you enlarge those designs, pixels can become blurry and not as sharp. Vector programs like Affinity Designer, Gravit Designer, and Illustrator use lines and anchor points. So when you enlarge a vector file, it never loses quality no matter how large the image gets. That's why people tend to use Illustrator for logos and large print projects. Having said that, pixel programs are typically fine for creating designs for print on demand. Just make sure you save your file as the highest quality PNG format and you should be fine. I've created dozens of tees with Photoshop and they print just fine. Now, in terms of function, you can do a lot of the same things in Illustrator that you can do in Photoshop, but Illustrator was made for creating illustrations. So a lot of their tools and features make it more convenient to manipulate lines and shapes because that's what it was made for. Remember, Photoshop was made for editing photos, but as I said, you can still use them to create your t-shirt designs. Now, do you have to buy software? Of course not. Just know that free programs can have limited features. Nevertheless, countless people use free image editors with no problem. Now, me personally, I hated GIMP. I tend to design with shapes. I create a lot of my elements with shapes as my starting point. You can create animals, you can create food, you can do a lot of things with shapes. So, given the way I tend to use these software programs, I did not find GIMP helpful for me. But that doesn't mean you won't find it helpful depending on the types of designs that you create. And yes, you can use Canva, but not the stock photos unless you buy the appropriate license. Now I personally chose to invest in Adobe products like Illustrator and Photoshop because I wanted to learn them and I'm glad I did. But choose what fits your budget and your preferences. Now, as far as your designs go, here are some tips. Be careful of making your print and objects too small and hard to read. With so many people browsing the web via their phones, it will be hard to make out the itty bitty details. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see people making, hands down. Number 2, black t-shirts sell more than any other color. So if you're creating a design with dark colors and you want to sell it on a dark shirt, one thing you can do is add a light stroke around the outside to make it stand out on darker clothing. And vice versa if you're designing for white shirts or lighter shirts. Third tip, focus on the audience you are designing for, not just the design itself. You could design the coolest looking sun on the planet, but if no one is searching for a sun, then what's the point? Make shirts for specific people. The money is in the niches with print on demand, and once you discover some audiences you can target, that's where the money comes in. I know it can sound daunting, but one of the best ways to figure out what sells is to just start uploading. Print on demand is a numbers game. The more designs you have up, the greater chance you have of selling, and you begin to learn what sells where. Also, if you follow my previous tips and see what kinds of designs are featured on the various sites, that will keep you from feeling like you're taking shots in the dark with your designs. That's it, ladies and gents. Don't forget to subscribe to my PassiveShirtProfits.com podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon.